It's like I picked this song just to describe my relationship with Nicola Weir, but I promise you I didn't. Hello, good evening, welcome to the programme tonight. It's Monday the 28th of August. Can you believe it? You'll have your Christmas tree up before you know it. First up tonight on the programme, do we, some of us, more to the point, treat our pets a little bit too well? So I'm talking about coats and jewellery, etc. You know, you get the wee Diamante things as well, and you're buying your dog or your cat a little parka jacket. Don't know, maybe this is you. And is there any place for a dog or a cat in the house? Is it unhygienic? And maybe you think dogs should be restricted to the countryside. Very controversial, I know. We have a couple of old pets in the studio tonight, old mutts, really. Kathy Quinn and Nicola Weir.
I'm a pedigree. Excuse me, I'm a pedigree.
I'm not. I'm happy to be a mutt. I don't mind.
I think the term is mongrel, but we'll go with whatever you want, Nicola. Kathy and Nicola, thank you for coming in. We'll start with you, Kathy. What do you reckon? Are you an animal lover in the first place?
I love animals, but I think this is ridiculous. It drives me mad seeing animals in coats, wearing jewellery, getting their hair done. There's animal spas, people having their dogs in bed, their animals in the bed with them in the house. I mean, there's a time and a place for animals, and I just think people go too far.
Well, to be clear though, before we bring in the Tasmanian devil of Radio Ulster, you are an animal lover. It's not like you don't like animals, you just think there's a certain time and a place for them.
I love animals, and I would maybe in the future love to have a dog or a cat or something, but I don't have the time to look after it and to devote to it, and you do need a lot of things like it's a commitment.
You see, I should really at this point say that I am kind of biased because I have two dogs, and I do treat them probably a little bit too well. Nicola, where do you stand on this?
Well, I actually have 3 animals. 2 of them, by law, I have to clothe and feed. They're called my 2 children. But I do have the most adorable Cocker Spaniel called Poppy. And I am sorry, Kathy, but it's quite obvious that you do not have a wee animal to love. I just adore her. I love putting her in clothes. She goes to the beautician. I don't call it the dog groomer. She goes to the beautician. She gets her nails done. She gets her hair done. She gets everything all done and puffed and all lovely and smelly. And she comes home with a new bandana. I see that
every time on social media, because you've never done posting about her on social media.
And it matches up to the season. So at Easter she gets a wee bunnies round her neck, and then at Christmas she gets mince pies round her. And I love her. And as for going to bed, I could not go to sleep at night unless my dog was beside me. Now, she doesn't sleep all night there because my husband comes up and takes her down, and she pretend, my husband goes,
somebody with a bit of sense.
My husband goes, "Come on, Poppy, it's time to go down to bed," and she pretends to be sleeping just like a child, and he has to lift her up and carry her down and put her in her crate. But I love the fact that she's there, and I fall asleep with my wee dog.
Your dog is lovely. She's a lovely dog, but and it's very obvious from the way you talk how much you absolutely adore her. I wish you spoke about your children like that a bit more.
Sorry, what's their names again?
Ooh, that was terrible. You need to defend yourself before social services are on to you.
One of them begins with a G and the other one begins, I think it's an I. I'm not 100% sure.
I'm pretty sure they're fed and they're not mistreated, really, your children.
But in a serious, let's talk about the hygiene, Kathy, that some people say like it's just not hygienic. We'll bring you in again in a second, Nicola, but what are the issues within that? Because you think people cross the line?
Animals generally lick their nether regions, and then your animal is coming, they're kissing people on the mouth. I can't even.
I'm going to make Kathy absolutely disgusted because I adore kissing my dog. But
where has she just licked, and what else has she just licked?
Can I tell you that it is widely known that dogs have the cleanest saliva, and in fact some people get dogs to lick their cuts because it actually cleans
can I
them.
just say at this point
I don't think we should advise anybody to allow an animal to lick their cuts.
I have no evidence of that, so until I am provided with proof, the BBC are not telling you to let your dog lick your cuts. My goodness.
I'm telling you,
are you serious?
They are really. If I had a little cut, I would let my dog lick the cut. Because it's very
serious.
I am serious.
Okay, well, to be responsible, I think, as Kathy is saying there, antiseptic cream will not, fair enough if that's what you want to do, but we would not recommend you doing that.
And kissing, I think, is just the most wonderful. I love it when I go in at night and I go, come over and give me a big kiss.
Okay, well, let me tell you.
I don't care whether she's licked her nether regions.
Well, let me tell you this, right? My dog does what a lot of dogs do.
Right.
In that when we went to get him from the pound, we took him out for a walk and he was eating the horse manure off the road.
Right.
And apparently that's quite common. They don't necessarily eat their own, but they will, for whatever reason.
Yes.
And you're happy knowing that that's a common habit of a dog to then do what you do, let her lick your face.
Hold on, my dog doesn't eat horse manure.
How do you
Your
know?
dog does.
It's a common dog thing.
No, well, I'm telling you now, Vinny, it's not, because I can assure you that my dog has never done that. and if my dog did do that, yes, I probably would be reluctant to let my dog lick my face. But as it stands at the minute, now my husband is a complete no-no. He says absolutely no way, no, not on the face, not on the face.
And we're still talking
Where
about
does
the
the
dog.
dog kiss him?
That's what I said. No.
Okay, let's be careful. I am aware it's late at night, but it's not that late. Kathy Quinn, let's move off the hygiene thing and then on to that element where some people, like, they'll get their Christmas card picture taken with their dog.
There's some things that are cute, and there's a lot of cute dogs, and people love their animals. But come on, if you are buying presents for your dog, if you're spending a lot of money on your dog, you've too much money.
Do you think that some people do it almost as a replacement for like another child?
I think
it's
yes.
something to love.
I think yes. Dogs give you unconditional
They do.
love that you'll never get from a person.
And sepsis if you're Nicola.
Well, can I just say that, you're probably right in that my wee doggy does everything I tell it to do. Whereas my two
Well, you
children,
must
it's
love
like,
that.
who is this woman? Go away and leave me alone.
Well, I think there is an element of this. There's a big market out there for these kind of things for dogs.
Yes, there is a
clothes.
lot of smart people making a fortune out of Egypts who are clothing their
come on.
animals.
It's not necessarily Egypts. I do it the odd time. I would do it Christmas.
What do you put on your dog?
My pug Thor has a Christmas cape, so it's like a Santa
he's
cape.
so cute.
And my toy poodle, I couldn't get much more manly than this, she's tiny, she's like the size of a cat, and she's a white poodle. She has like a winter onesie, which has a bobble on the top of the hat.
Does a poodle need a winter onesie? Does she need to be kept warm?
Well, do you know
she
what?
has
in
fur.
terms of practical, no, because with Thor, he doesn't get trimmed because his hair just it just sheds. Whereas with her, she has to get her hair cut. And if you do have to get her hair cut in winter, then sometimes she would be cold. She's very small, but I don't really do it for practical reasons.
Well, can I
She's not an outdoor dog.
Can I tell you one thing that I did put on my dog? And I know Vinny is going to look at me and he's probably actually going to take my microphone down. But how much I love my dog is that, as any person who has a bitch knows, they go into heat. Maybe probably about twice a year, right?
I know where this
and,
is going.
And my dog always goes to bed with me or comes into the living room. And of course, sometimes that's not possible. And I just felt so sorry for my wee dog one night because she was in the kitchen and she was like, why am I not being allowed into the living room? So I got one of my daughter's pants and I cut a hole for the tail and put a body form. And then she was able to come and into the thing. So my dog, but I just felt that was better for her to
just
put
when
on.
you think,
she can
with the
stay
license
outside.
fee, I'm not sure it's worth it, but maybe it is for that programme on a Monday night, and then you hear Nicola talking about putting pants on her dog.
But I felt it was being nice because the poor wee dog didn't understand
Okay.
why she was being...
There's a
Because she's
practical
a
reason.
dog. Because she's a dog, she doesn't
But
understand.
my dog doesn't think she's a dog. She thinks
Well,
she's a
whose
human.
fault's that?
Well, it's obviously mine, but at least she's treated so well.
And listen, you've treated
And do you
your
know
dog
what? While
very
she had
nicely.
those pants on, she could go horse riding,
go
rollerblading, swimming. It was amazing.
You've watched too many of those ads, Nicola Weir. We've mentioned a few different elements of this in terms of the hygiene, in terms of people getting too connected. You then also have a thing, Kathy, where people they take time off work to train their dogs, or if their dog passes away, they literally need time to grieve.
Of course, and people have great relationships with their animals.
But
I mean, listen, if you want to waste your annual leave days on training your puppy.
well, have you ever? Let's talk about whenever your animal dies, your cat or your dog.
Well, that's a big grief. I can understand why people would be upset. I can understand why people could be, and have to take a day off work or something. But I mean, but then we don't even like. I just
Do you think sometimes we treat our animals nicer than other people?
absolutely.
Do you think so, Nicola?
Absolutely.
I definitely would treat my dog better than I treat you, Vinny, but that's
Well,
for sure.
that's not
but
hard.
Whenever you talk about taking time, I see, and rightly or wrongly, and you can abuse me if you want, but I see my dog as part of my family, and I love my dog as part of my family. And when we got her, she needed to be toilet trained, and just in the same way that my children, whenever
Did you
they
take
were
time
young,
off work?
I took time off to teach my children.
No, the dog.
Yeah. because sometimes that's what you have to do. When you take on the responsibility of an animal, you have to love it in the same way I think that you love a member of your family. And I take time off to toilet train my children, so why would I not do that with a little animal that has been brought into my home that I have to take care of?
I couldn't disagree with that. I think that's a very responsible animal owner. And they do become part of your family. It's not becoming attached and feeling grief if your animal goes or you have to get rid of it or whatever happens. It's it's treating it as a human being. I think that is just going too far when we don't treat other human beings like human beings.
Yeah. Well, I suppose there's imbalance in lots of different countries and parts of the world, even here in Northern Ireland. I think there's no right or wrong answer to that. What do you say, though, Nicola, to people that say dogs, they are an outside pet? You shouldn't really have them inside.
Oh no, I totally disagree with that.
Aside from the fact that how much you love your own dog, very briefly, why do you think that?
Well, I suppose in a way I can understand if somebody has bought a dog that they want as a guard dog. I can see a reason why they would want it outside. However, if you have a dog that you're bringing into your home as a family pet and something that you want your children to love, you want your children to be responsible for, I couldn't bear the thought of that family dog, us going to sleep upstairs in our nice warm beds while this dog that we've brought in to love sits outside. I couldn't do it.
Kathy?
It'll be okay because it's a dog, and as long as it's somewhere warm where the rain's not getting to it, it'll be fine. All our family dogs were outside dogs. They were rarely in the house. They got walked. They were looked after. We loved them. It's
cold
keep them outside.
heart.
Okay.